Greetings and salutations from the Lord. He's still in control. My name is Pastor Albert Weiss. I've been a street minister for 22 years here in the Harrisonburg area. Before that, I've been here since 74 and moved here in 92. Homelessness is the thing that society doesn't want to see, doesn't want no part of. It's like we have leprosy. Uh, in any given night, I can take pastors, judges, chiefs of police and show them 45 to 50 people out in the inadequate conditions of winter and summer. This is 365 days a year you have homelessness. It's not just in the winter. Over in Burgess Road last year, from June till October, 286 homeless families come through there with children, 114-degree days, no milk, no food. God supplied everything. But if the churches don't step in with the homelessness, and your regional jails and your prisons has become the mental hospitals in the United States, because mental health is zero all the way across the United States. Well, they say there's not enough funding because mental health is zero. And when you cut the budget in the state of Virginia and cut programs, it hits homelessness. It even hits the collection plate in the churches.
How do people end up homeless?
Well, it doesn't. Only 2% of the homeless are addiction problems. But when you figure that 2% up in every little town and cranny in the United States, it's astronomical. There's programs starting out there. Now, Roanoke has a program that they've had since 1953. It's called the Roanoke Mission. They take 200 men off the streets of Roanoke every night. They have a 90-day program for women and men. The city of Roanoke give them 4 city blocks to do if anything they wanted with. And Virginia Tech alumni gives that program $12.5 million a year. They have their own doctors, their own psychologists, their own dentists. Uh, they get the men and women working that's got families. They can stay up there to a year. After a year, they go out and find a house and pay the first month's rent and the security deposit. And they only thing they require is they save 65% of their money, where they'll be self-sufficient after that year. If one city can do it, every city in the United States can do it.
All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions that we're asking everyone across the state.
Okay.
They're very open-ended. You can answer them any way you want.
Okay.
You don't have to answer the question
All
directly.
right.
All right. What's your family history?
My family history, both my parents was alcoholics. And if I would have never put the alcohol to my lips, I would still have alcohol thinking. It would be called an adult child of an alcoholic.
You know, did your parents live around the area here? Or?
They divorced at an early age. I was 2 years old, and my grandparents raised me. So, out of both my parents is deceased now, but I saw them maybe 10 times in my whole life, and they was like strangers. Because when you don't show love, you don't feel love.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a little town about 90 miles from here, Covington, Virginia, in Allegheny County.
What was life like growing up?
I had a good life. My grandparents seen that the destruction that divorce done to me at an early age and the beatings, and they kind of put a silver spoon in my mouth. I had anything money could buy. I got anything money could buy. But it hurt me as I got older, because I was still running back to them, getting in trouble with the law, DUIs, and they would always pull me out of it.
What's your favorite place?
In the whole United States,
To be, state of mind?
I would say, even though the turmoil that you have with homelessness and drugs in the Harrisonburg area. I've been here 22 years and I wouldn't go anywhere else.
What's in your backyard?
My backyard is whatever the need is for my fellow man. It doesn't have to be drugs and alcohol. Whatever the need is. Jesus never did get into politics. A yes was a yes and a no was a no. You can give somebody a peanut butter sandwich and tell them you love them, and it'll change your life.
What do you think of, do you think the state is pushing aside religion and
Well, you've always had a problem with church and state. I'll be 63 years old in July, and there's always been friction between state and church. Anything that God touches, the devil wants in the meeting. It's been that since the battle when Lucifer was kicked out of heaven.
All right, last question. What are your hopes?
My hope is within the next 5 years. I know they will not let it happen in the city of Harrisonburg, but right on the outskirts of the county line in the city, there will be a place, and they'll have staff, professionals to run it 365 days a year for not only the homeless, whatever the need is, drugs, alcohol, broken relationships where the woman has been beat, and then she gets on drugs, and then the drugs take her, and then prostitution takes her. It's a vicious circle.